Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to answer which one is the better growth stock to buy, Atlassian Corporation or Salesforce. To answer this question I'm going to look at four metrics and then determine which one is the better buy. So let's get right into it, starting with revenue growth. And this metric shows that Atlassian has the better revenue growth over the years, although what else this chart shows is that each of these two companies have experienced significantly decelerating revenue growth over the last several years, and most recently, Salesforce delivered 11% revenue growth, with Atlassian delivering 23.63% revenue growth. The next metric I wanted to compare these two on is the operating profit margin over the trailing 12 months. And this is an interesting chart here because what you see is a complete divergence between the two companies around 2022, where Atlassian's operating profit margin collapses and Salesforce improves to 9.2%, while Atlassian fell to 15.3% and still falling. However, if I was to compare these two on cash flow from operations to sales, the chart is a little bit more comparable, although you do see the similar trend with Atlassian coming down and Salesforce coming up in the most recent few quarters. And you could see ending at 26% for Atlassian and 24.62% for Salesforce, and a more stable trend line for Salesforce compared to a downward trending cash flow from operations to sales for Atlassian. So finally, I wanted to compare these two on valuation, and I wanted to use the I wanted to use the price to free cash flow here, because I was going to say the price to earnings, but I didn't use the price to earnings because Atlassian, as you could see here, the earnings was falling and going negative. So I wanted to give them a fairer comparison, and I chose to use the cash flow from operations to compare valuation. And judging by this metric, Atlassian is considerably more expensive than Salesforce at a price to free cash flow of 58 compared to a price to free cash flow of 32 for Salesforce. Now, another thing we noticed is each of these two companies have experienced decreasing revenue growth, and that's reflected in the valuation. You could see Atlassian's valuation is down considerably off its highs, and so is Salesforce. And that's a reflection of primarily these two companies make sales to businesses, and businesses have pulled back spending because they are afraid of a recession. Although over the last couple of months, the fears of a recession seems to have lessened. Going into 2023, there was a greater fear of a recession following the inflationary surge and the Federal Reserve raising interest rates. That has come down a little bit, although some businesses still are cautious. But nevertheless, that caution has hurt each of these two, and it has hurt Atlassian more than Salesforce. Longer term, if I was to pick one of these two growth stocks to buy, and if I had to make that choice today, pick Salesforce. Salesforce would be my preferred stock to buy right now. Okay, but that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.